Happy Thursday. I almost said Friday.
Feels like a Friday.
Sorry, I was sending an Instagram message. I wasn't ignoring you. I gotta find our live, so give me just a second here.
Almost said good morning.
Good morning! We're here to join you.
Oh, I messed us up.
Why?
Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a while. Been, what, 2-3 weeks?
I don't even know. It's all a blur.
3 weeks? People were messaging me off camera, like, when are you guys getting back on?
Are you coming back? She fired me. Good morning, Joe. I wish we slept in. We did not sleep in. Morning, Linda. Afternoon, Linda. Buenos dias.
Good morning, everyone says.
Who are you people? We don't even know. We lost ourselves along the way. You finally caught a live. I think it's because we haven't been here. We would have given you a lot more chances had we been here. We have had a lot of stuff going on lately. So,
yes.
Please excuse our absence. But we are impromptu here with you on a Thursday afternoon, 2 o'clock. We're ready to go.
Yeah. Do you want to catch them up on like what we've been up to for the past 2 weeks? Why we haven't been able to be on a live? Not too much now.
Yeah.
We hired a new employee.
We did hire a new employee. An impromptu new employee. We were planning on hiring again. Roles kind of changed for that, of what that looks like. And so I've spent the last 2 weeks here training with her and really getting her prepared and making sure that she's ready to go. She is phenomenal. We will refer to her as Woman 3. And she is top notch. So I've got to spend a lot of time at the office and do some listings and things like that. But because of that, Cayley has had to go out and source a lot more. So we have not had time to do lives because of that. But she's top notch. I'm at least going to give her like a B+ right now. So we are finally back.
Yes. We're back. We're able to do lives. We've been hitting the ground running, a lot of grinding the last couple weeks, but it's honestly been really good. And
it has been.
We're in a good place. I saw someone said they are a new follower, have been following for maybe a month.
Annabelle.
Welcome. Someone said it's their first actual live. Adam. Hi, Adam. Probably because we usually do it at an ungodly hour really early in the morning.
Probably.
Yeah. We used to do them at 9 and then we switched them till 10, but even still, I think it's still like 7 a.m. for some people if you're out on the West Coast. Hey, everyone.
What is this hanger? I don't see. Oh, this one? I didn't even see it moving. No, put it back up there. It might be the ghost.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh, no, come on. You got to put it out. Here, we got to give the ghost something to move. Here, look, here's more hangers. We gotta give it something to move. Oh, this is messy.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. I see all your comments about the unedited thrift hauls. I appreciate you. I've been definitely been getting a lot more up by not editing, but it has really taken my nervousness up a notch. I don't know why. I feel kind of nervous today because we're live and it's been so long. It's like I don't know how to talk.
Probably because I've gotten a lot more vulgar since we haven't been on.
Making me nervous.
I can't even see this in the screen to tell if it's moving, but it is slightly moving. We'll see if it stops. We'll see what happens. Oh, I can see it now.
Our office is probably just not
it's
level.
Fine. It's fine. Yeah, we're glad to be back, but she's probably afraid of what we'll say because I've not been censored for a couple weeks. So
mic is way better here than in the recorded videos. We're not using a mic right now. We just have it on my phone, probably 2 feet in front of us. So it's funny you say that. I've been getting so many mixed reviews on sound and people love or hate certain ones. And I just decided it is what it is. So, but I'm glad you can hear us better.
I noticed mine's depending on how I hold my phone too. Whether you're like covering speaker things, that might be part of it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not moving. The ghost doesn't want to come back, so.
Well, we don't really have any topics other than just catching up with you guys. Yeah, I can't please everyone. But if you guys have any questions that you've been saving up for the last 2 weeks, go ahead and drop them down below. I wish I remembered. Someone posted a comment. I did answer them, but they were like, it'd be cool if you could discuss this on your next live. And I was like, I don't know when that'll be. So I answered them, but I wish I remembered what that was now. But just to catch up, I saw one question come through already, so we'll get started here in a moment. But we are currently listing 40 a day still. Have we changed anything up besides getting rid of like background removal? Oh, I do know something that's different. The SKUs. You want to tell them about the SKUs? Some of you guys actually suggested this, so.
It was Thrift Generation, is who it was. Because
Okay.
I remember thinking, girl, why have we talked about this sooner? But we started putting SKUs on the items during the photo process. And then the girls immediately finished their listings that day and then immediately put them away. We still don't have them put them away until they're finished with them, just so if we need to like pull them for additional photos or anything. But essentially, they photo them, they bag them, they place like a label on it of where it's going to go, throw them all in a tote of the items that they're listing for the day. Once those are all finished, they schedule them all, and then they immediately put them away. And that's saving us a lot of time from doing inventory. It also cleared out like an entire chunk of office because we had to put in another row of totes for clothing. So it's good.
It almost makes me a little sad when I think back to this the scheduled bin system and the fact that we like don't have that anymore. We do have it, but we just don't have bins for it. But
we depended on that for a very long time.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, so I'm gonna rat Cayley out here for a second. When I started, I kid you not, I almost said a bad word. I had to think about it. I kid you not, I would go to pull items for shipping and she'd say, oh, this was listed this week. It's in one of these 6 bins. You find it. And there was like there were no days, there was nothing. You just had to dig through 100 or 140 items to find it. And I was like, this takes forever. So at one point I was like, why don't we put them in days? So we can say like, oh, this sold on Saturday. Let's pull it. Let's put it on Sunday. Let's pull it. So we did that for a really long time. And then
we had 2 weeks worth.
Yeah. And then we eventually started rotating to like putting them away same day so that every single day they were getting put away. So if it sold that morning, that it was there, but otherwise everything was in bins. Now it literally gets put away the same day that the girls are listing, even though it's not technically listed for like 2 weeks because of eBay schedule.
Yeah, so thanks to Thrift Generation for saying that. There were actually a couple more people who also said that, so thank you to everyone that mentioned that, but we were like, why haven't we been doing that? Another one people have been saying is we really should do back-to-back shelving to save space, which we probably will eventually do. We just don't have the need to do it right now, so because of that we like it neat and pretty and equally spaced out as it is, but I'm sure eventually we are going to have to do that. But did y'all just freeze or is it just me? I don't know. Could somebody let me know if we are frozen? Hi, little Miss Nat. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to get on since we were so impromptu.
You were supposed to do the freeze face.
Oh. People are saying we're good. Okay, we have a lot of questions, so let's dive in.
All right, let me go back. Okay, so we have, hey, good afternoon, good morning from Florida. Working. Good job, Adam. Get to working. San Antonio. Hi, guys. I am back from sourcing. Wondering if you are expecting the crazy Goodwill price increase to reach your area, and do you have any backup place for when it does?
Well, I, funny enough, just sent Nikki a screenshot today of prices at one of our local Goodwills. It was a Charter Club women's floral top. You guys familiar with Charter Club? I feel like it's sold at like Kohl's or something like that.
It's literally $10.19.
$10, which for some of you guys, you're probably like, well, that's cheap in my area.
Our Goodwill's so ratchet that they literally put it on a handwritten piece of paper. Like, what is wrong with them?
But for us, $10 is a lot for a top. That is a lot more than I've seen in a really, really long time. And so we are experiencing price increases. And again, I know for some people, like, you hear our price increases and you're like, yeah, I paid double that for the last like 5 years. But to us, it's still a lot. It's just something we're not really used to. An example would be jeans in our area. When you started, were they $5.99 or $6.99?
When I started sourcing, they were $4.49.
Oh, okay. $4.49 2 years ago. They are currently $8.99 at most of our Goodwills. In 2 years, that's a double increase, which is kind of crazy. So there's been a lot of like brands that we don't pick up now because I'm not going to pay $9 to flip it for $25. But we are experiencing for sure increases in prices. We also see that, you know, Goodwill will catch on to certain brands, like Lululemon was a big one last year. But my advice and tips for, I guess, dealing with that, or our strategy at least, is to always be more knowledgeable and on top of it than the thrift stores. Usually by the time thrift stores figure out what brands are good, like they start to catch on, like Lululemon,
it's on a downhill
trend.
Yeah,
it started dying down. Things like, I don't know, people are just now coming on to like Faherty, and we've sold that brand for a couple of years. So you just got to be way more on top of it than the thrift stores. You got to constantly be comping, looking up solds and studying them. And that's something that Goodwill doesn't do. And so we've been able to pivot really quickly because of that. And I think it's forced us to learn some new brands too.
Honestly, the comping method really helps. I know there's like a lot of different options out there for how to decide what to source and what's good and what's not. Style-based is obviously pretty, I don't want to say realistic. What's the word? Pretty...
I don't know. Open-ended?
No. Back up. Clearly it's been a couple weeks since I'm struggling. It's fine. What I was going to say is it's always going to be a go-to. I don't know what the words I'm looking for, but it's reliable. Maybe a good option, because as long as you're watching trending things, those are pretty much always going to be going, right? Because they're trending. But when it comes to comps and like sell-through rate, you're finding out about a lot of those brands as they're up and coming, and sometimes you're finding out about things ahead of time. Like this 01 Algo, like we've known about it for a couple of years. There's not a lot on eBay for it at all, but like we sell it like it's water on a drought. Like it goes very fast. Like there's certain things for us that like we've learned. Knox Rose is another one of those things. There's hundreds of people who don't pick it up, but because it's like trendy and it's still kind of like up and coming, it does really well for us. So things like that, the thrift stores are not going to be as fast at. They're pretty much watching you, what you're picking up. Once you get enough resellers buying it, then they're like, oh, we should probably mark this up.
Yeah.
So as long as you're challenging and doing your research, then you should be fine.
Yeah, I definitely feel the heat too, so I'll say that. Probably not as much as some people, like I'm seeing here in the comments, but yeah. Someone said their Goodwill is having a $500 giveaway. No, we do not have that. I have not seen that anywhere. I wish.
Give us the deets. We'll sign up. We'll give you some side money for the help. E. Gonzalez, we are not related. We are friends and we work together, but we are not related.
We get that a lot.
We do. We don't look alike at all, though. So, any tips on going from part-time to full-time? Also for E. Gonzalez.
Let's start with you, because I feel like I always answer this first, but I'm curious to know what your tips are for someone going part-time to full-time.
I mean, I think we already kind of talk about it when we generally do this, but it's going to be like maxing out absolutely everything that you can. Really, I feel like if you're doing it part-time and you're like wanting to sell full-time, you need to really look at what your commitment piece is, on how much you're going to give up, how many items you're going to be able to list in that time frame. So say for instance you're working part-time, and I don't know, on average you're working like 20 hours a week at your business and you're listing, I don't know, we'll say 20 items a week. That's probably not going to do it for you. If you assumed you doubled that and you were working 40 hours a week, 40 items, unless they're like top dollar items, it's probably not going to be enough to suffice on, like live off of in general. I would tell you to make sure that you like really look at your efficiencies, make sure everything's like maxed out, you're ready to go.
I thought she was holding up a sign with a question.
I know. I was like, what is happening?
She wasn't.
But make sure you're essentially like getting as much out of the time that you're putting in now and making sure that when you are working your business, you're being as successful as what you could be. Because, say, for instance, like, I don't know, I'm making all these numbers up in my head, but if you're working 20 hours and you're only getting 20 listings done, when you figure out timing, you should be able to get 40 done. Now you need to increase your pace. You need to be getting 40 done in those 20 hours and then using that to sustain yourself. Obviously, you have to make sure you're going to make enough money to live off of in general. So that's kind of where my thought process goes. Like,
Yeah.
max yourself out, work every single angle you can before moving forward.
Yeah, agreed. Squeeze everything out of part-time that you can. Try to aim for full-time numbers while still being part-time. And then my only other call out is a lot of people think if, you know, I need X amount for bills, let's say you need $3,000 net a month for bills, and the first month that somebody reaches that goal, they quit their normal daytime job and then they go to full-time reselling. But you're not guaranteed that every single month. It might have been a good month in fourth quarter. And so I always recommend meeting your goal probably about 6 months. That way you have a full range of understanding of seasonality, and you can guarantee yourself that you are going to be able to be consistent and make those goals while you're part-time every month, before you pull the trigger to become full-time. Those are my suggestions.
Always consider seasonality.
Yeah, for sure. Summer's tough.
Yeah, say if we made it successfully in winter and then like quit our jobs and went full-time in winter, probably wouldn't be that hard. But then the first summer's going to come and you're going to be like, oh God, what did I do? So
Right.
Also, like, plan on banking money. Like, money's going out of style. Ooh, sorry. Plan on banking your money and make sure that you're like prepared and ready to essentially just like take off and sustain yourself. Like, I would want to have probably 6 months of like income saved before I'd be willing to just quit my full-time job to do something that's a little bit riskier.
Yeah, something a lot of people don't think about, not even just part-time to full-time, but even just like doubling your listing goal, is people don't realize that, let's say you are purchasing 50 items a week at $5 a piece, $250 a week. So your listing goal is 50. If you decide, you know what, I'm going to give it all I got one week and I'm going to list 100, you have to also spend that extra $250 again to get ahead. And some people aren't prepared for that. Like, are you actually prepared to spend $500 a week? Because most of the time it takes sales a while to catch up to you, which is why we recommend, you know, having a little bit saved back, plus convincing yourself month after month after month that you're meeting the same goal, and give your sales time to catch up. But I hope that was helpful.
I've been lucky because if we're going to be honest, I don't worry about the financial piece at all. I literally just say, this is what we should do. I mean, I obviously think about it. I'm not saying I make like rash decisions, but like, I don't actually have to look at the financial piece. I just say, Cayley, this is what I need to make this work. This is how I think we can do it. And she's like, obviously wheeling all that through in her brain at the same time. Like, oh yeah, we can make it work. But generally, I'm just like, okay, we need to get ahead. We want to be ahead. I don't think of like, oh, we pay $500 a week. I don't know what it is, but we pay $500 a week in clothes, right? I don't say, okay, well, I need to make $500. I just say, Cayley, we need to get sourced ahead, figure it out. And she does. Somehow.
Yeah,
always.
It's a lot when you're the only one working on it. So I would consider everything, because as you as an individual have to play every role, including the financial piece of it.
Yeah.
But hopefully that was helpful to you. Sorry that was a long-winded answer, but a lot of good tips in there.
What do you do with items that you don't sell?
Honestly, we really don't have a good system. We usually just donate it. Do I get a receipt for tax write-off? Not usually. I probably should. But honestly, we don't donate a lot of things. There are very few items that we actually end up pulling and donating, although we have done that. But usually we are dropping the price after we've seen, you know, we've done the listing's correct, the listing's still sitting there, what's left, why isn't this selling? A, it's probably an undesirable item that no longer has a good sell-through rate, or B, I'm priced too high. So we usually start dropping prices every month until we reach that threshold where someone's going to buy it, and most of the time we just sell it at a lower price. So we don't actually end up donating things, but to me, for tax purposes, for profit wise, like it's always better to sell an item for something than to donate it because you're going to get more money back that way.
Yes. Ditto. One busy mama to you says, do you list the title if it's a collab, such as Lily Pulitzer Target or just Lily Pulitzer, to save on keywords? I always list it with the collabs because most times collab stuff tends to have like a higher sell-through rate, just generally, and it draws in like exactly what it is. Plus, what if you listed it as just Lily Pulitzer and somebody got it and they were like, oh, this is Lily Pulitzer Target, and then they were disappointed in it? So we always list collabs.
Yeah, the one we're actually really bad about though, and I don't really pay much attention to, are outlet stuff. Like I don't usually put J. Crew outlet or Banana Republic outlet. Like I don't usually do that. But if it is like a Target collab, we do put Target in the title.
Paula Wallace says, the more I list, the lower my sell-through rate is. How can I boost my sales?
The more you list?
Yes. I'm assuming you mean temporarily. Like, you're right. If you have, 5 items listed and 5 items sell, right? 100%. But then if you put 10 items and only 5 sell, you're 50%. I think that's just like, it has to catch up with what you're listing.
Yeah.
And make sure you're listing good items. That's what I would tell you.
Yeah, it takes time for stuff to catch up, but if you immediately, going back to doubling a sourcing goal or something, you're probably just thinking like in basic terms. When people are only listing 5 items a week, let's say, they're probably being really picky at the thrift store and they're picking really top-notch items. Once you start to expand, you don't have the luxury of that. You start becoming a little looser with your sourcing. And so instead of picking up stuff that has 150% sell-through rate in 90 days, you start picking up stuff with 100% sell-through rate in 90 days. And so things sell a little bit slower. And I think there's a little bit of a shift that people don't realize when you start to scale up. But ultimately, more than likely, it's just not been long enough for your items to sell.
Bacon Butter Babe, which is just the most epic name ever, wants to know, or says they are pondering a YouTube channel. Do you feel it's worth it?
Worth it in terms, I guess, what are your goals by having a YouTube channel? Some people start one thinking it's going to boost their sales. I can tell you that is 100% not the case. So if you wanted to start a YouTube channel to make more sales on whatever platform you're selling on, it's not going to do that for you. I know a lot of people have these theories that you're a YouTuber and that's why you make sales. It's actually the opposite that happens because you've got a bunch of people coming to your eBay store or your Poshmark closet and viewing your items but not buying anything, which shows eBay basically that people are viewing but they're not interested in your item, and you start to get bogged down in search. So if that's the reason you want to do it, I would say you'd probably be better off spending your time just listing more. But if you want to do it to have community or to help other resellers, then I absolutely think that it's worth it. Or if it's maybe a creative outlet that you feel you need, I do think it's worth it then. But as far as starting one to get more sales, or if you're there for it to make money really quickly, it takes a really long time to make money on YouTube, and oftentimes the amount of work you put in for years, just like eBay, like you're not going to see the results of that right away. But I love it for the community. I love helping out other resellers, and it's a really great creative outlet for me.
Bam Bam wants to know, do you recommend international sales / shipping for us smaller sellers?
Yes.
Why?
Well, because, so I assume you're talking about eBay because Poshmark doesn't allow international shipping yet. I'm not sure if Mercari does, but I assume you're talking about eBay. I say yes because it is so simple. You can use their global shipping programs. It's literally like a toggle and you're still sending it within the US to, goodness, excuse me, to just one of their distribution centers, and then they send it for you. So I said, excuse me, it came out, it snuck out. It's so easy. Like, why would you not do it? Most people that turn that on, their sales boost. I think most people say they boost their sales like 30%. I definitely saw a boost in sales in the beginning. I would say probably only like 10% now of our orders are international. But why would you not offer it if it's super easy and you can have a boost in sales, get more eyes on your items, have a bigger audience, and also most of the time international buyers are willing to pay more for the item if they can't get it in their country. So like, why would you not, I guess, open yourself up to more sales? I do recommend not shipping internationally directly. I would personally choose to go with the shipping program through eBay just to protect yourself. It charges the buyer a little bit more, but you're covered and you don't have to worry about it being difficult because it's just like regular shipping. So I would say, yeah.
Thrift with Joy, we too started putting photos of the stickers in the listing so we can find them too.
Yeah.
That was very helpful. She also says that what was it? Charter Club? I said Coldwater Creek. I don't know why. Charter Club shirt would be $12.99 in Arizona, probably at least.
Yeah, that's too much, guys. I mean, we'll pivot if we have to, but I would imagine that, you know, after a while, the same thing happened with Lululemon. Like after a while, they stopped marking it up so much because people weren't buying it, and the same thing's gonna happen with prices here. Like just at the thrift store I was at today, I literally heard 3 people come up and complain about pricing to the cashier.
Really?
So it's an issue. People aren't going to be buying as much. Like they're a business too. They have to make money. They track their sales. They track their revenue. They track how much they're bringing out. Just like us resellers. I mean, if we have a dip in sales of like, let's say 50% one month, we're going to look at that and be like, oh crap. Like,
what's happening?
What's going on? And I think it's a little more than just inflation. I think they're upping prices of some stuff that people, not just resellers, but like regular buyers are not willing to pay. I mean, $9 for jeans. Again, I know in some places it's a little bit higher, but relatively speaking, where we're at cost of living, you know, looking at that, $9 is a lot in my area for a pair of pre-owned jeans at a thrift store.
Well, yeah, you think about it, like I know one specific store around us, Mark's American Eagle used jeans for like $15 to $19. Well, sometimes you can buy them new.
Right.
If you watch sales for $25 online.
Right.
So why would you not watch the sales, you know? So I hate being one of those people, but you know. All right, we have to keep going because we're going to get derailed.
Okay. We have 155 people watching.
They missed you. It's you.
I feel like that's less than normal. Maybe people don't like the afternoons. Or maybe I didn't give enough time.
Maybe.
Anyways, thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. Go wake up your kids. Just kidding.
She's not kidding. 300 likes. Cayley gets pied in the face. So we got to make it happen at some point. Because, I got pied in the face. Like, I know I took one for the team, and it was fun. Absolutely. I think I literally sneezed whipped cream for like 3 days. But Cayley needs her own. Like, I need her to have a moment. I need it. I need to be the one to do it. Like, I
think I'm going to wear a nose guard.
No, you're not.
I feel like you're going to bam.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to just, like, up your nose. So just... anyways, they loved your interview with your sister. Little Miss Nat was nice enough to link it for us, so thank you.
Thank you. People loved that.
Miss Sullivan, I haven't watched it yet. I need to go back. Miss Sullivan says, do you share and send offers on Poshmark, or are you just accepting offers and full price sales? Do you increase your prices on Poshmark to account for offers versus eBay? P.S. They love your new content.
Thank you. Thank you. So real quick, whenever we cross post from eBay to Poshmark, we always add $5 to $10 because you cannot turn off offers on Poshmark. So we do add $5 to $10 of our listing price to account for offers. So yes to that question. We do both. We accept and counter offers by buyers, but we additionally send out offers to likers, and I do that with Poshmark, so I'm not actually doing it. It just happens like, I think it's 5 minutes after they like an item. But I do think it's important to do both if you want to capture more sales.
Mandy says she sold a Knox Rose dress for $26 the other day. Whoop, whoop.
I love that brand. People still make fun of me for picking that up. And Old Navy. Old Navy dresses.
Big people clothes.
It's hilarious.
That's where you go. That's where it's at. Us thick girls, we have a hard time shopping. Like, we order everything online because you cannot go to a store. I can't go to a plus size store. and buy a bra ever.
Yeah.
Like, that's just insane. It makes me so mad. I'd rather buy that stuff online. So that's why. That's what's going on. Kaching King. That's Scott, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Scott. Good to see you. How are you? Good to hear from you. Good to read you. I don't know. If you were starting your own business over today from the ground up, would you do anything different? That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Everything.
If I was starting it from the ground up, I do think we'd have started with a different, knowing what I know now, I assume, but knowing what I know now, I think we would have started with a different inventory system that is very similar to the one we have now, except more of like the filing ones where it is everything stood up instead of mangled together in the box. So I do think we would have done that. Originally, Nikki's covering her head because I've mentioned possibly converting one day and she's not for it. I feel like we're going to end up doing it at some point, but I think if I would have, is Nikki okay?
No, I'm not okay.
Having a stroke over
Send
here.
coffee.
The people call it the magazine method, but it's essentially the one where you've got a box, they're all in order, and you can see all of them basically. You don't have boxes labeled, it's just whatever the first one is. So I think if I was starting fresh, I would do that differently. I would also obviously focus on a high sell-through rate because that is something I did not do in the beginning. But
Aww, Scott, I love you.
Thank
You're so
you.
great. I can remember what your face looks like too. I also think you told me you were a teacher. I've got skills. That's about the only thing I'm good for, but I have memory skills.
Thank you so much for the super chat. It was really nice chatting with you on Kat's channel.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think I would do those things differently. I also think when I originally started, I tried to do all the fancy schmancy stuff. I had thank you stickers, handwritten thank you cards. I just focused on a lot of like the frills that didn't need to be there. Now we're like bare bones, like eliminate every step that we don't have to. Like I don't even background remove or use lights anymore. And so I think I would have, if I were starting one over, I would focus on just the core things instead of all those bells and whistles. Anything that you would change if like we were like, let's just start completely over?
Everything. I mean, it's not that I hate the new inventory system. I just hate making all the changes again and like getting stuff done and then starting all over. Like that's for me where I think it's a struggle. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things. Like I definitely like the streamlined processes. I think if I had to give anybody advice on starting something up from scratch, it would be to stop assuming that you're a small seller in the beginning and automatically go with like large business plans if you have intentions of like growing your business. Now, obviously, if you just plan on always keeping it as like a side gig, okay, I guess I could see it. But like if you know you're going in with intentions of starting it, like I don't know if you guys remember what this office looks like, but if I have to move every one of these freaking totes again, like I might lose my sanity. And thinking about putting shelves back to back 100% makes sense. But can you imagine moving every single one of those items?
Yeah.
Again. So which is why like I get kind of nervous thinking about changing inventory systems and things like that. I would much rather have that stuff done ahead of time than what I would to have to do it again. So I would think if I had a takeaway for anybody, it would be start your business with intentions of it being large scale.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like renting office space, but as far as like how you set things up. So
that's a good tip. Look further ahead than just right now.
Dusty Old Hat says, been a lot of talk about eBay changing something in the algorithm and people's sales dropping off a cliff out of nowhere in the last couple of weeks. Have you noticed? This might have nothing to do with the algorithm, but it just reminded me because we were talking about eBay. I don't know if any of you guys have noticed, but eBay brand categories are all screwed up. Like, it doesn't even have Anthropologie as an option in women's tops anymore. Like, it's detrimental. So maybe that has something to do with the algorithm is they did an update and then like all of a sudden all these brands fell off. Like North Face isn't even an option for women's pants sometimes. Like, I don't know what is happening. But if you think about it, you're putting in every single one of those to list and they're not pulling up as a category. Like, that is 100% going to cause issues for people. So maybe that's part of what you're talking about. Maybe that's not. But I did for sure know that was what was happening. I haven't seen a lot of sales dips because of it yet, but to be honest, we've just started having the issues in the last like 2-ish weeks. So most of those honestly probably haven't even gone live yet. So
that's a good call out. They're definitely doing something in the background, but you kind of expect that. Like, I expect every quarter there's probably going to be a really bad sales week because eBay is changing something. Have we noticed a sales dip? No, my sales have actually been really, really good lately. My sales are actually starting to catch up from increasing listings to 40. But I will say I have had some really slow sales days. But when I look at it over the span of a week, they're the same. And I think it's important to do. I think people get really caught up in the like what happened yesterday, but they're not looking the whole week or the whole month. And I think if you were to look at it, you'd see that sales are actually fine. I think people have a knee-jerk reaction to that thing. Something you also want to keep in mind is we're moving into a slower sales time. We're coming out of Q4 and we're about to move into Q2, or are we in? We're in Q2, right?
I don't know. I just wait till you tell me what we're in.
Yeah, we're in Q2 right now. April started Q2. And which, by the way, don't forget to use your eBay shipping supplies coupon if you have one, because I almost forgot. But when you move into Q2, you're moving into the summer slowdown. So lots of things going on in the background of eBay, moving into traditionally a slower sales time, at least for clothing resellers. So it makes sense to me that that's happening and we're not panicking, I guess, because of it. But no, we've not noticed a dramatic change. I have had definitely, like yesterday, I think our sales were only like a little over $200 on eBay, and they're usually like $500 to $700. So like some days, yes, but a week or a month snapshot, no. Try not to panic.
Yes. Ditto. Hi Taylor Exchange. What's his name? Sean?
Yes.
Hi Sean. Hey Joe. Welcome Queen Boss Lady. Goodwill. Ooh, this is a good thing. Eric says, remember that Goodwill business model requires liquidity, which essentially is going to make more things into the bins. So it might be a good opportunity for people to buy some more items at the bins. The bins are probably just going to get fuller, and then they're probably going to get overwhelmed, which is obviously also a portion of Goodwill. So if the bins are getting really full, they're probably going to tell the stores that they have to drop prices at some point. But ultimately, you might have more of an opportunity to get things at the bins that people are skipping on. That's good shout out, Eric.
We haven't been back to the bins in a while. We should go.
Hi, Live Style Rewind. Happy Thursday. Dave John says, I'm new to eBay. When listing an item as calculated shipping, do you give your buyers the discounted shipping cost that eBay gives you, or have them pay calculated full cost? Make them pay the full cost, baby. Ship it out.
You can do what you want, but do you realize how much time it would take to do that?
A lot.
Like, honestly.
To figure it up?
Yeah, to figure it up, because you'd be refunding people every single time you shipped a package. We're shipping almost, on average, we're shipping out, what did I say, 37 and a half packages a day. So imagine doing that almost 40 times every single day. But no, that is your money. You earned it by being an eBay seller or top-rated seller. They're paying the commercial price. If they went into the post office to ship something, that is what they would pay. That is their rate. You get a discount. That is yours to keep. And no, we do not refund. That is a little bonus that I'm putting right in my pocket.
For all the questions we get asked, we don't want to answer. That's like
true.
the tip of the day.
Scott, I want to know if there's anything you would do differently.
Yes.
If you were to start over. If you're still on, you should drop that in the comment.
He also put a comment, said that he's been on eBay for years and I'm not rich yet. I'm not sure where I went wrong.
Same.
We're there. Yeah, I'd be curious for you to tell us, one, I was going to ask, and then she kind of brought this on, but how long you've been reselling. I read your question. You've been doing it for a year. So how long? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I know you said it's been a while, but I can't really remember what year. I'm not going to say what I think because I don't know how old you are and I'm not going to age you. But I think I might remember. Vaguely, but I'd be curious for you. Niquina wants to know, did your sister ever want to work for you, or did you try to do business with her? I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole.
I love my sister.
I hope she's watching this right now.
So
She comments in the comments. I thought we were friends.
So my sister used to do listings for me, and by that I mean she filled in just
Details.
like the details. She didn't do pictures or anything. Long story short, she was very young. She would even tell you, like, she did not have the best motivation or consistency or work ethic back then. So long story short, she ended up saying, I can't do this anymore, which was fine with me because I wasn't getting stuff back on time. Again, this was a long time ago, like when I was a part-time reseller. A couple years later, she decided, maybe it was like a year later, she decided she wanted to try reselling for herself. And as you guys might know, based on her interviews, it took her a very long time to be consistent. I mean, she's been doing it off and on for probably like 3 years, maybe even more. And she just recently, what would you say, like the last year? Yeah, just the last year started actually deciding to be consistent, to actually put work in every single day and treat it like a job. And since she did that, like, she just had a shift a year ago. I don't think any of that had to do with reselling. I think she worked on herself and everything else fell into place, other parts of her life as well, but work especially. And since she did that, she has taken off in reselling, but that is a long story short of that. But she actually did used to fill out details for me. Yes. She does not want to work for me now. She wants to do her own thing.
Cayley is very challenging to work for. She's no fun, very boring. Totally joking. Absolutely joking.
Well, dang.
She's like, wait, hold up. In the camera, in live. Just kidding. She's good.
Well, you know, we have had employees who found it preposterous that I asked them to do work. So
I hope they're watching.
Several. So
hashtag woman,
maybe
like
I am a slave driver. I don't know.
0.00001. Yeah, you're not a slave driver. How often do you record your financial data, such as costs on spreadsheet, etc., or wherever? Daily, weekly, monthly, like once a year? She's horrible. I'm gonna tell you right now. Yo, I'm telling you this right now. She's over here by herself.
That is not true.
She sucks at receipts. Those babies.
I suck at receipts, or you suck at getting them to me.
But
that's not fair.
Both. So to be fair, I will give Cayley a shout out. But that tray will heaping tray, and then she'll spend like 4 hours going through receipts for the last like 4 months. Hold up.
You're wrong. It's actually like a month. It just seems like a lot.
Okay, well, there's a lot.
I do it every month.
There's a lot of receipts.
There are a lot, yeah.
Maybe there are 4 months, because what I was going to say is I will find them in the depths of my car and pull them in. And at one point she was filing taxes and I was like, I found this from November. And she was like,
they're done and gone.
So I don't help, but there's
definitely,
we could be better.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of receipts, and it looks like a lot, but I do them every single month. Maybe like if I'm like late I try to do it at the beginning of every month, but if I'm late, maybe it's like a month and a half. The one thing I am bad about is checking my Amazon receipts. Sometimes I will wait like 4 months and then I'm like, okay, I gotta get the last 4 months of the Amazon stuff in. But like actual sales data from each platform and cost of goods, I actually do calculate that every single month because I'm curious to know where we're at. We also pool sales every week, just like the gross number, not everything else involved, but for what sold videos and also for our meetings. So we kind of know where we're sitting at anyways, but I do all of that once a month. If we start getting much bigger, I'm probably going to have to do it bi-monthly just because it can be a lot. You know, she mentioned it looks like 4 months. It literally does. Like,
it's a stat.
Our receipts, like, it's like a mound. But, you know, we have multiple people sourcing. We're going to multiple places in a day. So it can be a lot. I might need to do it more than a month. I would say you need to at least do it once a month, because if you're not, how do you know that you're profitable? How do you know you're headed in the right direction? You know, you don't want to wait a whole year just to realize that you lost thousands of dollars last year, and you're not going to know that unless you're tracking all of those numbers and know where to pivot.
Mercedes says, is it worth it to dispute a neutral review on eBay? I still have a 100% positive. You were laughing. It scared me. Should I let it go? Afraid of making it worse if I try.
I'm thinking about the Rhonda Stark immediately.
Oh my God. I forgot about her. You guys, okay. I'm going to let Cayley answer this, but I'm going to tell you this. I had this lady who literally argued with me after she asked Woman 2 like 1,500 questions about an outfit, and she tried to return it and say that it was not as described, and she just can't see. It's not my fault. It was her fault. I normally do not argue with buyers. I'm just like, here's your money back. I appreciate you. Like, good luck. I appreciate it. Whatever. This lady made me such a level of like petty that I've never been. I literally almost ordered something from her eBay store and returned it just to be an ass. Like, I'm so serious. I don't know why she bothered me so much, but she just was very entitled and lied about it. Like, I literally take returns for does not fit. Like, you could just tell me you don't like it. I don't care. I take returns for anything. But, like, she lied about it. And I was so salty. And I had the old emails. Like, I had the old messages. I don't delete anything. I'm a hoarder. I knew what we said. And it made me so mad. I thought about buying that little creepy mouse off of her eBay page. And then saying it was not as described. Like, a hair on the mouse was crooked. Just to be a jerk or something. I don't know. I didn't. I was a big person. But I vented a lot. And I'm doing it now, so sorry.
Yeah, here's the thing, guys. A long answer short. This is how I do it, at least. If there is any negative or neutral feedback, I think that, yes, you need to try to do something to get it removed. If it's your fault, you want to correct that with the buyer. I would say probably 50% of the time, not all the time, but 50% of the time, if something was our fault, which there have been on numerous occasions, 50% of the time with those buyers, if I fix it and I give them a refund and I'm quick to answer them, they will, without me having to even ask, revise their feedback. We've had that happen quite a bit. If it is not your fault and buyers are just being petty, you know, they're giving false information, you can only do so much. I try to report for like false claims. You can try to get a hold of eBay for Business on Facebook, message them. That's like the most success I've had. But you have to have evidence to back up your claim for them to remove it. And so if there's no evidence, then it's almost not worth your time. But I would say any negative or neutral feedback, you should try to give at least somewhat of an effort to fix it, especially if it's your problem. But should you let it take, you know, weeks, and should you let it bother you every single day? No. Try and move on, and it's just the cost of doing business.
Cayley says, how do you add a set shipping price on eBay? I can only find free or the standard shipping prices, not where I can make my own.
You change, I don't know what it says, but it's like type of shipping. You change it, instead of calculated, you just change it to flat cost, and then it'll ask how much you want to charge them, and you can enter in a dollar amount for a flat cost.
Annabelle says, do you buy lots from company or people? If so, can you share info or advice on how to buy in bulk? I work full time and have 4 kids, 1 special need, so it's hard to find time to source things in advance.
Yes. I got to go back to the last question, though.
Sorry.
I'm discussing, when I say you're changing that, it's in the individual listing itself. It's like not, we personally don't use business policies. I see somebody saying that. I don't touch that with Tin Football because every time I have, it's completely messed up our store. But if you want to do flat cost, you can change it in the individual listing where you enter in your shipping information and just say flat and then enter it in within the listing itself. I wanted to clarify that. We do not buy liquidation. We do not necessarily buy lots, but we have bought in bulk from some other resellers who either wanted to liquidate their store, they no longer wanted to resell, or lately it's been death piles. So that's been really good for us. My biggest suggestion would be to just put your name out there, and I don't think you need to have a YouTube channel, although I do think it could help. But just tell people what you do when you're out, at thrift stores or yard sales, family, friends, and eventually someone is going to catch on and they're going to remember you and they're going to contact you for like a buyout. But I don't necessarily think it's something you can go like just out and get. I think you just need to put your name out there. That was really close. And another suggestion I have is if you're part of any of the reseller Facebook groups, you could also, if they allow it, put a post in there saying that like you're looking to buy inventory if anyone has like a reseller death pile. I want to be honest, some of the reseller groups are kind of mean, so people might attack you a little bit, but if you've got thick skin and they allow it in the group, you could do a post like that, and maybe there is a reseller who's looking to get rid of stuff, but you just got to put your name out there and wait for people to come.
Joe, what embroidered top are you talking about? She said there was a long sleeve embroidered top you showed the other day in a haul video. She's looked for it but can't find it.
Are you talking about the one that was like a new brand to me?
Let us know. We'll help you find it.
Let us know. Usually when I do hauls lately, that stuff, when we bring in items, they don't normally get listed. Like, they get listed, but they don't normally go live for 2 weeks because we're scheduled 2 weeks ahead. So if there's something in particular that anybody wants, message me privately on Instagram or send us an email. I honestly can't remember the brand name of that, Joe. But if you want to send us an email, we can look at it and get it figured out for you. But it should be listed probably in the next week and a half as well.
Question. If I have 550 items listed, but I don't have an actual eBay store yet. If I list less than 250 items per month, is there a reason I should get a store subscription? You have a whole video on store subscriptions. You should check that out, CM. It'll tell you all the details, all the perks, all the rewards, when's it worth it, when's it not worth it, so on and so on.
If one of the mods is listening and they have time, if you could link the how to tell eBay store subscription calculator for that person, that would be awesome. If not, you can search that Cayley, Elaine eBay store subscription. Watch that video. There's actually a link to a free document at the end, and you can type in how many listings you have. You might want to double check pricing because eBay may have increased prices for subscriptions then, but you can use that free spreadsheet, type in your numbers, and figure out how much it's going to cost you. But it sounds like you've also done some of the research, and no, I personally don't see a point in it unless you want some of their bulk functions. If you're someone who is listing in bulk, you don't get their bulk editor without that, to my knowledge, and that has been a game changer for us. So if you want to be able to like change all of your drafts to have the same whatever, or schedule them all at the same time and pull things in bulk, it might be worth it to get that and to have that like storefront with those bulk features. But no, I don't think it's necessary until you reach that 250. Thank you, Little Miss Nat. Little Miss Nat just put the link in the chat below. If you want to click on that and go watch that and download that document.
If you guys are with us, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. Dusty Old Hat says, do you have any thrift stores in your area that obviously looks at prices on eBay and prices stuff the same? We actually had one. I don't remember where we were. You have fuzz in your hair. I'm getting it. Sorry.
Oh, I'm a mess today.
They literally had a Walmart, like a picture of the same, I don't know, it was like a coffee maker or something, but it was like a picture of the listing on Walmart and a picture of an eBay listing, and they taped it to the box to like justify why they priced it.
It was a Goodwill.
Yeah. I was surprised.
So yes, we definitely do. We also, sometimes I'll hear chatter amongst the employees about how they looked up something on eBay, but I don't think that they know how to check solds. At least I think they're just pulling available listings.
Probably.
So I don't think they're looking at solds. Nobody tell them, because then we're all screwed. They'll check sell-through rate. They'll know exactly how much they sell for. So
Yeah.
hopefully not. But yes, we have run into that a couple times.
Little Miss Nat says, if one pie to the face was fun for you, then two must be doubly delightful. But what if the cream gets in Cayley's brain and she can't advise us? Quit trying to get her out of this.
Good point.
No. Oh, Scott, you were a retired superintendent. I'm sorry. For some reason, I was thinking a history teacher. I don't know why. But that's what my brain automatically went to. I do remember that now. I also remember your office. It was very organized. It was very impressive. Thank you cards are pointless.
Yes.
Thanks, Dusty Old Hat. Should I contact eBay directly or talk to the... Oh, she's talking to Scott. Sorry. Have you ever listened to or taken advice from Daily Refinement? Yes, she likes him. Secretly. Not secretly. I don't know. I don't know. What's his name? Chris, if you come across this video, Cayley talks about you all the time. Like, every time she comes up with a process, she says, well, this is what Chris does. Well, Chris does this. Well, Daily Refinement. I watch this. I don't know, some Patreon. I don't even know what that is, but all the time. Like, you could be her internet lover. She loves you.
I am a part of the Daily Refinement group. I am not very loud on there because, like I said, some people can be kind of mean, some people are very cutthroat, and some people don't allow for any ideas other than their own. But I do find it extremely helpful for efficiency stuff, his ideas, his strategies, and I have followed him since before that group was made. I followed him like for a very long time, and I do admire his work ethic and stuff. I know some people have a lot of things to say about him. Listen, nobody's perfect, and I'm not perfect. So if you're watching me, I'm gonna definitely do some things that, you know, are less than perfect, but you can always take something positive from someone, even if you're not taking everything from them. And I find a lot of value by being in that group and from his videos. So I really like his advice for efficiency stuff.
She loves him.
I heard people were talking about me in the group a couple times last week, so
she loves him.
I love his processes. Not him. Not interested.
I don't know. Poor guy. His hopes and dreams
He's
just
married.
Got crushed. That's all right. Gotta have backup options.
No.
Dusty Old Hat. Do you have a washer dryer on site, or do you wash/treat clothes if necessary? The last one, if necessary. Typically, we just don't buy it if it looks bad. It needs washed. But sometimes we make mistakes, and then there's this nice woven basket in front of Cayley's desk where we pile all the things for her to take home and wash.
Yeah, we don't have anything on site besides a steamer and a lint roller and a sweater shaver, but we only do it if necessary.
What is the benefit? Oh, we already talked about that. And there's a link at the very bottom down here about store subscriptions versus just regular selling. So check that out. That's for Ann Feldman. Make sure you watch that. Dusty Old Hat also says we should hire a day laborer to move all the stuff. That's why I got married. So that I have a permanent free day laborer, and he is top notch. So
she's had her kids pull inventory for us sometimes as well. They're really good.
They're pretty good. And my daughter loves cross posting to Poshmark. It's like one of her favorite things. So she also watches this YouTube live at school sometimes because she has a free period. So we're doing it during the day, during the afternoon. She's already out of school at this point. But sometimes her and her classroom literally watch lives right after we do them.
People didn't believe I was in the group. Why is that?
I don't know.
Oh no, someone's talking. Why did they not believe I'm in the group? I'm curious now. Is it because I'm so quiet? I honestly, I don't even get on hardly at all on Facebook. So maybe once a month I'll go on and I'll scroll the most recent post. But I'm not even very active on there anymore. But I used to watch videos maybe a year ago, every single day. But I'm not on there as much, but I am still a part of it. But I'm curious to know. Probably because you're not a big talker. I am not. Yumbo says that group is a cult. I feel like he might be part of the group. Yumbo said some stuff about me lately that I'm
not very nice.
Not mean.
I'll find him.
No, not mean, just like disagreeing, I guess, with the way I do things, but nothing mean. And he honestly was correct in what he said.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll back down. It's fine. Emanuela, the Poshmark closet is well traveled if you're looking for it. You could totally check it out. If you go to like real old things though, no judgment. It's fine.
If you go to the Linktree in the description, the Linktree has a link to everything I talk about. Should we talk about what Yumbo said about me real fast? Because people are commenting.
Oh.
So he didn't say anything bad. And honestly, I haven't watched the video, so I guess I can't say that I actually had read this, and I'm not going to call it who said it, but a couple people, one comment was made on one of my recent videos, but I've also had people reach out to me via Instagram. But he basically said that I needed to, again, I have not watched this, so I'm just going off of what other people said. I'm really afraid
about what my reaction's going to be to this. Your reaction's already telling me I'm not going to like it.
No, it's not bad, but he was like, she needs to get rid of Poshmark, only sell on eBay, and quit hiring employees, and she'd make more money. Which is true. That is true. If I did that, I would make more net profit for myself. Maybe not quantity wise. Like, in order to grow this big, I do think you need to have employees. But like, if I wanted percentage wise profits all for myself, I could do that. But I don't want to do that. That is not my method. I don't want to be heavily involved in like killing myself every day. My goal is actually to step away from the business, not completely, but to focus more on this social media course mentorship groups. And there's no way I'm going to be able to do that if I do not have employees doing that. So 2 different ways of thinking. You know, some people want to do it all by themselves and reap all the profits. And then there's people like me who understand that to grow it, I'm going to have to hire employees, and I can't do it all myself. And I'm okay with having some of the profits in order to do that. Are you as mad as you thought you'd be?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I get protective over you. It's fine. Don't touch me, I'll eat you.
Same.
Aww, she's so pretty. Yes. No, I'm not sad at all. It's snowing. Where are you?
Oh, I saw that comment.
I missed that. Where are you? It's snowing wherever they are.
It's like, what is it, like 87 degrees or something here? It's very hot here.
Oh my god, we're so far
like
behind.
It's pool weather. Yeah, we are a little over an hour in. 184 people watching. Don't let her watch the video.
I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna go find it now.
I can't wait to see these comments. Can I tell you guys something? So we mentioned this in a live, like probably a month ago. We talked about possibly doing a podcast together, her and I, meaning. And literally that same day, like 2 other major YouTuber resellers announced that they were doing podcasts. And I was like, well, great. Everyone's going to think that I'm just copying them now, even though we did mention it. So I've kind of held off on it for time reasons and that. But I think Nikki and I are going to start doing a podcast once a week. And we're going to talk about all these juicy drama details, because we don't get to do that on most videos, because I do try to stay drama free, but we do have some opinions on some things, and I think it'd be fun to share them and go a little, be a little bit more loosey-goosey on some of those and talk about things not related so much to business and be able to give our full opinions on those. So we'd love to chat with you guys.
What were we going to call it?
I don't want to announce it yet.
Oh, okay. Good thing I don't remember, because I'd have said it.
Can I?
A Spill the Tea podcast. That's funny.
Ooh, that's fun.
I like that.
I have a name in mind. I gotta make sure nobody else has taken it, or someone's gonna say we copied. But
no, you can't. We can't announce it till you have it, because once you announce it, some bad word will go out there and take it.
Okay,
so.
I won't. But just so you guys,
it's trademarked. We'll let you know.
Just so you guys know, we are hoping to do that soon, and we're gonna talk about some more like chit chatty fun stuff in that. One segment of it, I want to be the mean comments. So something to look forward to. A lot of people are looking forward to the mean comments.
I threw away my Miss Piggy shirt. I should have kept it.
You threw it away?
Yeah. I got rid of it.
Probably for the best.
I wore it one time. Okay. Do you combine shipping and refund the buyer the difference? No. I don't. I just combine it and ship it.
Only if they're bothering me about it, but sometimes they don't say anything and then we just combine it and ship it. But if they've asked me to, then I will. But to be honest, lately I feel like buyers have been taking advantage of us with that, because they will they'll buy multiple things with offers that don't actually combine, and so they will purchase them separately and then message us while they're in a waiting payment and be like, fix this for me and send me the refund. And it's getting really annoying. Like, it's getting very frustrating. Like I said, we're shipping out like 40 items a day. Can't do that every day. Cannot adjust 5 people's orders every single day and maintain that. But we have something set up in promotions so that it'll automatically happen for them if they check out the correct way, to try to prevent that.
I'm asking you a question, and I want your unbiased opinion. Okay. I can tell you're going to throw hands at me, and it's fine. Okay?
I'm putting my hands on the table. What?
Do you have a seamstress on staff?
She's the seamstress.
That doesn't work ever, because I've had the same crap piled on my desk for like months.
You're funny about it, because like some of them you're like, I just do this for right now, and then there's other things that you've had for like a year. I feel like that Ralph Lauren pillowcase. Yeah,
it's because I need to bring my sewing machine in, or I don't have the right color thread. That's what holds me off.
Yeah,
I need to go to a stitching store.
Yeah, we try not, just to be clear, we try not to pick up things that Cayley, come to the morning call tomorrow. I've never been on one of those calls. I've listened to the replays, but I've never actually been on one.
She should do it. I'll encourage her.
I don't have time.
You will make time. She'll be there tomorrow
No,
morning.
I won't.
Don't worry.
But we try not to pick up anything that needs fixed, and the few times we've done it, you know, I'm not going to say anything about her, because there are things that, remember the silverware and the spoons that I didn't list for a million years? Like, I have no room to talk, so I'm not going to.
I threw so much hands about you about those things that I was waiting for you to be like, this is your time.
No, I'm not going to get on to her about that, but the things that we do decide to pick up, knowing that there's falls, those tend to be the things that sit for multiple months, so we just try to avoid it. But yeah, she's the seamstress.
I'm half good. Paquito. What's the trick to figuring out how much money you can make monthly based on how many listings you have?
Well, I have a spreadsheet for that I personally use. So if you're good with Excel, I'd recommend typing that in to like a formula as you do it. But you basically need to know what your sell-through rate is. You basically need to know the items that you're picking up, what their sell-through rates tend to be on average. Because you could have, you know, some pretty crappy items in your store already, like I did and do from years ago. So your sell-through rate in your store might be lower than the items that you're actually picking up. But in general, let's say you're picking up 100 items a month that are going to sell, you know, they have 100% sell-through rate in 90 days. That should tell you that 30%, I'm just making up math, but like 30% likelihood that it's going to sell that month, if that makes sense. But you need to know your sell-through rate. You need to know how many items you're listing consistently, and you need to know your average sale price, and you need to know your average net price after all your fees. And then once you get that net, you can basically backtrack from there. It's hard for me to tell you without being able to show you on a formula, but you need to calculate all of those numbers, create some formulas in a spreadsheet or on paper, and you'll be able to figure it out pretty quickly.
Quick answer: returns or no returns on eBay? Why or why not?
Yes, returns, because buyers can force returns anyways, so you might as well offer them and get the benefit of offering them.
Do you use QuickBooks?
I used to use QuickBooks for payroll, but now I have a CPA, so I don't use QuickBooks at all. I've never used any software for tracking sales. I strictly use my own spreadsheet. We're good with Excel. This one here, she's been forced to learn so many formulas lately. She's got it down, though.
I am the Google master.
We've learned some things like I didn't even know Excel could do lately. It's been really nice.
I'm going to do an Excel class for all these people. They need it.
Some people need an Excel class.
Hi, Heidi. Welcome. Appreciate you. Scott says, "Oh, I just got off the phone. Someone got my name from a friend. They bought an old house and wondered if I wanted to look through it before they threw it all out. I said yes. Woo!
See?
Can we come? We will fly. We will come right there with you."
See, that's like what we were talking about earlier, though. Like, put your name out, and eventually it's going to come back to you, and you're going to start having opportunities.
Do you know what Dusty Old Hat's name is?
I don't think they've ever told me.
If you
I might be wrong. I have a poor memory, but I just know you as Dusty Old Hat. You've been commenting a lot. You've said some really nice things. We've interacted a lot, but I don't know that I ever got your name. I do know that it is a gentleman, and I believe he said he was a bit older. I know because he was defending me on that comment from that lady. It was like, I've been reselling for 40 years.
I love it.
And you're wrong.
You should share your name if you're comfortable with it. I hope your name is Dusty, because that would make my heart so happy.
That would
hi.
make sense, Dusty. They might not want to share their name on the internet. I get that too.
Scott, okay, listen. This is so true. He says crazy thing. This is the third one this month. All crazy about word of mouth. This literally happened to us with death piles. We bought one death pile, and then we got onto YouTube, and everybody on YouTube was like, "Oh, I have death piles." So then they were like, "Oh, you want to come meet us at this place?" We were like, "Sure." And then some people were like, "Oh, I live in states away. You want us to ship stuff?" And like, it's been a lot of people. A lot. And I'm so happy. So if any of you have death piles, please call me. I will give you my cell phone number. Any day, anytime. Text me, call me, Facebook me, Instagram me. Probably not Instagram because I never check those messages. But anything else.
Instagram me.
Instagram her. Find us and we will buy your stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to say anyone's name if they don't want their like actual name out, but one of our viewers reached out to me on Instagram, and we've been doing, well, we've only done one, but hopefully we're about to do another one, but we did a Zoom with her, and she basically did like a thrift haul with us, and we said yes or no of what we wanted, and then we just paid the shipping for it and her price per item, and it was really good. It was like a fun way to do it. I never thought about doing a Zoom before either, which could be a really great way to look through inventory without, actually being in state, which was really cool.
What motivated you to start with YouTube?
I started YouTube because I learned everything about reselling from YouTube, and I wanted to answer the questions that took me so long to figure out when I was a reseller, and basically wanted to fill the void of the questions that weren't being answered or shared with by other people on YouTube. So to help others and have a creative outlet. And to get over my shyness. That was a big one for me. I feel like I've gotten a lot better. It was like a way to force myself out of my comfort zone. Yeah. What?
I was driving to work this morning and I was thinking about doing something. I'm not going to say what it is because it's really not YouTube appropriate. But I was thinking about doing something and I was thinking that it made me nervous. And I was like, I'm going to skip out. And I was like, why are you being nervous? Like, you're not a nervous person. What's wrong with you? And I was like, how many times do you feel like you've done things because Cayley's with you and you didn't want to be a baby? And how many times do you think she's done things with you because she knew that you were with her and that you would call her a baby? And I was like,
probably
a lot. A lot, 100%. Like, I definitely think this works out for us. So, Trina says, I just hired my first VA. She's not been around much. She wants me to add style, fabric to photos I sent her. I hired her to create the drafts entirely. Should I be sending her that? Should they know? I'm not going to answer this question, but here's what I am going to tell you. Who owns the business and who's working for who? Whatever you want your expectation to be is what she should be doing for you. So she's either going to do what you want her to do or she's not going to work for you.
Are you trying to determine length? Because that is not anywhere near your shoulders. Pull it up.
We don't have chest
there you
shirts.
Go. There you go. That's a tunic.
Tunic, yeah.
She had it like down here.
I know, so we don't have chest shirts.
They're funny.
But yes, so Trina, I don't know. My point is, she works for you, right? So whatever you want her to do is what she should be doing. So I can attest to her that if you're asking her to fill out listings and she doesn't have the details, if you're the one taking photos and she doesn't have half the stuff she needs to fill out the listings, then yes, you probably do need to think about that. But if she's doing everything in its entirety, as long as you're providing her with everything that she needs, then she should be doing whatever the expectation is. So
everything that we need for a listing can be found in our photos. So as long as you include everything in your photos, which I'm not sure if she said or not, but I really, really think personally that they should be capable of it. And if they are refusing to do it, I bet you could find somebody who's willing to.
Hey, you got your phone? Oh, you
No.
don't. Sorry.
It.
I'm going to text you this. Will it mess you up?
I won't be able to see it.
Well, that's fine. I just want you to have it for later.
Oh, okay.
This person says, Attire and Beyond said, contact me re-inventory. So I'm sending that to you.
Oh, okay. How do I contact them?
I don't know. Let us know if you're still here. We can maybe search you out on the YouTube. Can you click on it? No.
Mm-mm.
I've sent it a message. We'll find it. Should I take a picture of this so we can find it?
I can't message them on YouTube.
Yeah, but what if it has like a tree? What are those things called?
Linktree?
Yeah, maybe she has a tree.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. Anyways, let us know if you're still here. We will contact you. We will buy all your stuff because we like to. Maybe not all of it, but some stuff.
Yeah, let's throw it out there. We're not buying anything. We're going to have to be picky and specific and good sell-through rate stuff. But we might be okay buying it.
Do you have any videos on hiring a sorcerer, not a sorcerer? I'm still learning. I would like to hire a sorcerer or two and learn how that would work. Hey, woman number 2.
Yeah.
I'm saying this, it's not against you. Okay. I would never hire a sorcerer, I think, again. Like, I think that I can't say never again, but I would never have the two mixed again. I would never have an office and a sorcerer at the same time. Yeah, I think that kind of blurred some lines. We've had some people who have left to resell on their own, which has definitely put us in a tough situation. And I think that to prevent that, now given both of these people had resold, whatever, before. So like they already knew what they were getting into. But I think that I would probably just have a sorcerer and buy things. We do not have videos on that yet though, because we're still learning the process. And to be honest with you, I don't even feel comfortable making suggestions because we're still really figuring it out for ourselves and like how to make that work. Yeah, I don't know. You got anything else?
No, I think you said it all. We're still working through that process, and I agree. I think in the future, if we hire somebody new and we want them to do sourcing, that's like she said, that's probably all they're going to do. We're probably not going to teach the full process again.
Trina, if you are writing out everything as far as flaws, colors, etc., I wouldn't. I don't know.
You could probably find a VA who will do everything that you're asking. We are an hour and 17 minutes in, so we're going to fire through these questions to make sure we get through all of them. Did we ever figure out what Dusty Old Hat's name was?
I don't know. I haven't made it that far yet.
We're really close.
Little Miss Nat wants to know who's talking about you. She said point him out to us.
Wait, what?
It. Who was talking about that Yumbo?
Oh. There's a lot of people that talk about me, apparently. I just hear about it, like, after the fact. But, oh, yeah, somebody was talking about us on, I don't even remember that guy's name. Him and his girlfriend were talking about us, about factor stacking. So, like, I don't even hear about it till, like, long after
Oh, my God. Yeah, that was bad. There's a lot of people who said that they were involved in that conversation about you in the Patreon group. They just didn't believe you were there.
I want to know why. Just because I'm quiet, I guess. I'm not. I have a Facebook, but I don't really get on much.
I just tag her in winery pictures.
It's like when you're a newer reseller and you watch reselling content every day. After a certain point, like, you don't learn very much. Like, there's only certain little nuggets you'll take away every now and then. So, like, it's not worth it to get on all the time because it can be very time consuming. So I don't even watch. I watch some reseller content every now and then, but not very often.
Have you heard of flip consignment, and what do you think about it?
No, I have not. Thank you to all of the mods in here. Thank you for putting links Making it easy on everybody.
Do you think it's worth paying for daily refinement group, or can you get a lot just from videos?
If you, I guess it depends on where you're at in your reseller business. I would say yes, that there's a lot of information. I think some people find the Facebook group very helpful. I think a lot of it you can get in the free videos. I got on to the Patreon just because I felt like after all of the free information I'd already gotten, I felt like paying it back, I guess. And so that's why I pay for the Patreon, because my sales have skyrocketed by listening to that advice, not because I want to consume the content all the time. But I think you could get probably like 75% of the information for free. So I guess it's kind of up to you.
We are in Ohio, Rachel. Some people say it was snowing in Montana, South Dakota, Wyoming.
We don't want any more snow here.
Yes, dusty old hat. I owe you. I heard you had my homegirls back over here, so I appreciate you. But we are going to read mean comments on a podcast. It's going to happen.
Probably every podcast we've got some banked up.
Every freaking one. We're going to start with that. Mean comment of the day. I don't know, something. Although maybe we shouldn't do that because that might entice them. But yes, we will read some. Yeah. I'm going to find that Rhonda Stark. We're going to start with her. Cayley, come to the meeting tomorrow. You should be there, 8 a.m. Central. Dusty Old Hat wants to know, how much does Chris's group thingy cost? Are you comfortable sharing that?
It used to be $1 a day. It used to be $30 a month, but I feel like he just raised it. I feel like it's like closer to $35 a day now.
A day?
Or a month. So,
I was like, that is like a 300% increase.
It's somewhere between, I believe, you'd have to check. He just increased rates, I believe, but I think it's like somewhere between $30 and $35 a month, but you get access to Patreon, which are like the full episodes, and then you get access to the Facebook group, and you also get access to a lot of documents, which is why I think a lot of people think it's worth getting into.
Emanuela says, love your videos, very helpful. New reseller here trying to make $4K a month, making one on Posh, and I'm scared to try eBay because of the return policy. I have like one sale a day on Posh. Any tips?
eBay can be a lot, but once you get it figured out, it can be a reselling beast. And I guess what I always propose to people who are afraid of like shipping and the returns and all that is eBay's it's the biggest platform for reselling pre-owned items. There are significantly more users on it, therefore you're going to have the opportunity to make significantly more sales. So I always propose the question: if you got on eBay and you made 2 times more sales, let's say in your case, you know, you're selling 1 a day on Posh, but let's say you sold 2 to 5 a day on eBay because you got on there, but then once a week you had 1 return. Is it worth it to sell substantially more, but then you might have a return that sets you back? To me, totally worth it. But you do have to be very consistent on eBay, and I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. So I would not get on eBay unless you can be consistent. What? You're about to laugh.
You said the word substantial.
Oh.
Everybody drink.
You know, I haven't said that in a long time, I don't feel like.
It's factors now. That's the new word.
It's factor stacking.
Have you ever put off listing something and then remembered about it months later only to find out that it's lost half its value? Yes. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
How many items? Sorry, I thought you needed me. That's why I stopped weird. How many items do you believe a solo reselling business should be able to list daily? I'm considering hiring a VA, but want to make sure I am maximizing my individual potential first. Thanks.
It depends. People are so tired of us. Like, it depends. It really does depend. It depends on how far you have to drive to source. That's another thing why I have to have employees. Like, we have to spend on sourcing days at least 3 hours driving. Like, that eats into time. Assuming that you can source like in your town pretty consistently and you don't have to go very far, I would say that the days that you're listing, I would recommend spending, let's say, 2 days sourcing, 3 days listing, or whatever that shakes out to be. On any given day, once you already have the items and you're just spending your day listing, I would say in like an 8 hour shift, we'll subtract an hour for lunch, so 7 hours. I would say comfortably you should at least be able to get 70 listings up, 10 an hour. But you still have to ship, you still have to do your customer questions, you might have to process stuff, but typically once you have the items listing, at least 10 an hour is like the baseline, but I would aim for 15 to 20 listings an hour to be like fully maximized myself. Thoughts?
Agreed. I was just thinking it through.
Okay.
You're fine.
That includes like photos and everything. Yeah.
Do you give the buyer original shipping cost on eBay when they return the item? No, I don't, because I already paid to ship it.
Unless it's our fault.
Tech and Chris equal mom and dad. Chris will comfort you while dad kicks your butt. Yes. Cayley and I kind of have this mentality that one of us for the employees is mom and one of us is dad. And one of us gets to be the nice person that like coddles and feeds you too many snacks. And then the other person gets to yell at you when you don't move fast enough.
Which one do you think we are? Who is mom and who is dad?
I'll wait. Colorado stood yesterday. Dusty Old Hat says, I am not that much older. Ha ha ha. You called him old and he's not even old.
He said that he was older.
Well, older than you is not saying much.
I wasn't saying he was old. I'm saying he himself stated.
You said an older gentleman. That is the most old man name I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, I don't know how old
Nikki. Oh! Nikki is mom. Nikki is dad. The
Which
debate
one
is
is
on. I don't know. I feel like I could be both, and so can you. But on a general basis. For sure. On a general basis. Okay.
I'm sorry if I offended you. I must have mistaken the comment about that older person.
Tell her.
You being older.
Tell her, Dusty. If you don't tell me your name, you're just going to be Dusty from here on out. But Dusty.
Dusty Old Hat is his name.
Old
Hat.
It's a Dusty hat. You calling him Cobweb too? Is that what you're going for?
For a long time.
Maybe he bought it selling. Oh, ask the employees. All right, hey, woman number 2. Who would you say is mom and who would you say is dad?
Wait, give the description.
Mom coddles you, feeds you too many snacks, and is way too friendly. Dad throws the hammer down.
Disciplinary. Out of the two of us, who's mom and who's dad?
I would say Nikki's dad.
Jordan?
Wait, I gotta make eye contact. I gotta get real answers here.
Because I feel like Nikki's more talkative. She could scare me. I could see her.
This backfired!
To be fair, I haven't been in the office for your first 2 weeks.
That's true. But I don't want to make either of you mad.
You're not gonna
make us mad.
I feel like
you fear
I'm
Cayley way more.
genuinely curious.
You told me that you fear Cayley more than me.
What?
I feel like Nikki's the mom because like you're quiet and then when something's not right, you're like, hey. Where Nikki's like constantly talking.
Yeah. I would, if I had to guess what everyone thought here at the office, I would think that you were thought of as mom and I was thought of as dad. Is that what you thought? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
Yeah, but woman number 3 now says that she thinks I'm apparently the grumpy old troll who lives under the bridge. So
you've been the only one here.
I have been the only one here though. I can be very direct. I'm very blunt and very to the point, but I also really like to have fun.
I also make you discipline and handle things too, so that's probably
you don't
not
make
fair.
me.
Well, I push it back on you. I'm like,
yes.
This is HR.
It's not like I can't.
You deal with it.
It's not like I can't do it.
Yeah.
I will definitely do it. She's not over here like holding my hand while I discipline.
Yeah.
But
I'm like, this is yours. Go deal with this.
Okay. Who are your favorite resellers?
There was only
YouTubers. Mine are Yumbo and Thrift a Life. That's what Dusty Old Hat, the old grand gentleman you were talking about, and Heroin Bob
Oh, yeah.
had to say.
Sorry, I didn't know what I was thinking.
So I fear answering this question because there are people that I learn from, and then there's people that I would consider like a reseller friend. So like I don't want to offend anyone by not saying stuff, but the people that I learned the most from are probably Daily Refinement and I just really don't feel like I learn a lot from anyone else, but there are people that I find very entertaining. Like I really enjoy watching McThriftsy because she does a lot of like factor stacking and style based stuff. Lately I've been watching Rebecca Allison, and she is just so positive, and we definitely have like different reselling styles, but she's just so positive, and I came across her channel. She actually Instagram messaged me today because I mentioned something to her, but those are the people that I like sometimes watch, but again, I'm just like not on YouTube very often. There are more channels that I watch more frequently that are not at all reselling related than are reseller related. Do you have any? You don't really watch
I don't
reseller.
watch YouTube. I didn't even watch YouTube until I started here.
Yeah.
I didn't even have YouTube on my phone.
Yeah.
I didn't have internet at my home until like last month. I finally broke down. It's been bad and good. I actually downloaded Netflix and Hulu and Disney and Peacock and Paramount. Like I own everything under the sun. I don't have HBO, but I've watched like everything under the sun now, and it's bad.
It's a lot. It's really time consuming. I almost think it's better not to be on YouTube all the time because you get too many ideas and you cannot focus on your business and what's actually best for you. Okay, I feel like we're in the weeds. We gotta blast through, don't we?
I'm trying.
It's an hour and 31 minutes in.
Trina says, I don't know the Rhonda Stark story, but I really hope it's on the podcast. Yes.
We should do it on the podcast. We got a lot of stuff coming up, guys. A lot of things in the works. A lot of things we've been promising you guys for a long time that are finally starting to come to fruition.
Miriam says 15 to 20 per hour. I can barely finish 5 per hour.
I used to be there too.
This is listings. This does not include photos. So when we say 20 an hour,
no, I was including photos.
I could not do that.
You do 10 to 15 an hour.
Yeah, I could do 25 listings in an hour of just listings, not photos. So if I had to add photos, I could probably do like 10 to 15.
You do 10 to 15.
Yeah.
You're closer to 15, but what I'm saying is like baseline at least 10 is what you should aim for, and then 15 to 20 if you're like uber maximized and you cut out all the frills. But I'd say 15 is a really good thing to aim for. But like when I first started, probably for the first couple years, like I'd be lucky to get 5 done an hour, but I can comfortably do probably, I would say, close to 15 an hour.
Everybody thinks I'm dad. I must be a real bee. People must not like me.
Must be a real bee.
Oh, sorry. My leg's kind of hairy.
I'm kicking the camera.
Sorry, dear. Yeah, I just don't know. It's just, I don't know. I didn't think I was mean. I guess I'm very intense. I have heard that I can be kind of scary.
Rosanna? Yeah, I have heard that about you too.
Rosanna. I don't flip out very often.
I don't think you're scary.
Once in a while.
Rosanna. Oh, you got something to say? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when you do flip out, it's very scary.
So Jordan's like second day in here, I had a fight with my kid's school because, long story short, they thought some kid brought a gun to school and nobody called me to tell me, and I lost it. And like Mama Bear's a whole other level, and I literally told the principal I was gonna burn the school down, and I think that might have scared Jordan, so maybe that's why she's a little confused.
Yeah, that went on for a couple weeks because they just kept messing up. So, Rosanna, wanted to answer your question. You said that you've been reselling, I think, for a couple years now. My question to you is, when you are calculating that time, is it completely undistracted? Because that's what I'm talking about. I think if you timed yourself and you focused on nothing else besides how long does it take me to do photos and how long does it take me to list, and you cut out all the thrills and you looked at we talk about doing photos in a circle with our new hire. Like, how far are you walking? What can you cut out? Are you maybe taking way too long to research and comp? Like, there are a lot of little things that really add up in time, especially when you're doing multiple listings a day. So I'd really look at your efficiencies, and I think you'd be surprised at how much you could get that down.
Somebody asked about who the reseller was that was looking for inventory. It was Annabella Bacchiero. If I butchered your name, I'm so sorry. But if you scroll up and look at the little emoji things next to your name, it was orange and it had an A on it.
We're nearing the end, so if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, place them now, because we are going to be getting off of here soon. It's almost quitting time.
Dusty Old Hat says you're not going to make us mad. You're just disappointed. Do you think making $4K a month is a realistic goal as a one-woman show? I think it depends on your cost of goods too, like, and sell-through rate and price. Like, if you buy 1,000 items and you have to list 1,000 items to flip them for $5, like.
Are we talking gross or net? Because in order to net 4,000, you'd probably have to gross 8,000.
Yeah. I think that it also depends on what you're getting. If you had a bunch of, like, less high dollar items, yes. But if you have a bunch of cheap items where you're making less profit per item, then you're going to have to list more and it might be less reasonable.
I will say I 100% believe it's possible because I know people doing it as a one woman or one man person.
Dad is not bad. Dad gets stuff done. Dad is ready to jump in if needed.
Yes.
At Dusty Old Hat, did Nikki just call you a grand gentleman? It was not me. Hey, I was so nice to you, little Miss Nat. We met in Texas, and I was so nice to you. Why are you always taking her side? What the heck? He said, I'll take it. I'm in my early 40s, so not that grand yet. My mom was a grandma before 40. It was scary. She was terrified. It was the best thing of my life. Would that podcast be on YouTube? I'm intrigued. I don't know how do podcasts work?
We have so much going on.
Is there an app?
Let me just tell you the first thing that Nikki said to me when I mentioned podcast. She was like, "What is a podcast?" And I was like, "Wait, what?"
I've never listened to a podcast. Is it through YouTube or is there an app?
You can do it on many platforms, but I think that yes, we will have it on YouTube, and like I said, it'll be more like off the cusp, like less business. We'll still be talking about reselling, but it'll be like more fun things that we don't normally talk about in videos because we don't want, a lot of people watch for the straightforward content. Like, we want a place to be able to do the not straightforward stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, I can't say when, but probably soon we will start recording for that. But yes, it'll be.
I thought we were doing it live.
No. Mm-mm. And it'll be on YouTube. I don't think Nikki still knows what a podcast is.
I have no clue. I've literally never
It's just
watched
like us talking, and we can have video, or I can just like cut out the video. But it's literally us just having an agenda and talking. But no, it won't be live. We already do lives.
Oh, okay. Well, you just let me know where to be and where I need to be there, and I'll be there. Oh my god, I lost my thought. I lost my spot here. Okay. All right. Why do you think people stop reselling?
I think they stop reselling because they don't know their numbers and they get very overwhelmed and they feel unsuccessful and they give up.
Little Miss Nat says, Nikki, you're not mean, but you looked woman number 3 in the eyes as she answered you. Are you cross-posting when you are done or when you're doing 10 an hour? We are not. So we actually have the girls cross-post each day as they go active because when we're actually listing stuff, they're not going live for like 2 to 3 weeks. So we only cross-post them as they actually get set live.
I think they're asking in the timing that we gave for 10 or 15 or 20. Yeah, that did not include cross-posting. That just is listing. That's listing on eBay. Listing on Poshmark, honestly, you could probably solid like 20 drafts on there in an hour, including pictures. Like, it's a lot more straightforward. But you got to learn the little shortcuts that people do. I wouldn't, if I were doing something on either platform, like I would copy the description and paste it. I wouldn't type every single one out. You know what I'm saying? Like there's little tips and tricks you can learn to make things way more efficient.
If we included the time it takes money move gen, since it takes 10 minutes, including steaming, measuring, photographing, drafting, listing, and then cross posting, if we included that, all of it, it would take us 7 minutes per item with the process. Because it's 3 minutes for photos, 3.5 for listings, and then say half a minute for cross posting, because that's what we take for the rest. So yeah, and we use steaming and measuring and stuff during photographs. So I think ours would be about 7.5. Cayley, your store on eBay is around 5K listings. Do you have a total listings goal, or are you just trying to maintain?
I do not have I have a goal for what we need to list to reach a monetary goal. But no, I don't have like I want my store to be at this amount. I'd actually like my store to be smaller. I don't want 5,000 items. I want them to sell faster, so that we're not filling up as much space. But no, I'm just trying to work every day being a better reseller. Right now we're listing 40 active a day, so I want to see 40 selling a day. But no, I don't focus on a number. What?
I gotta come to it, but first, Miriam says, podcast with video. I want to see Nikki's reaction.
Yeah, I want to read some of the mean comments that she's not heard of yet and get her reaction. Yeah.
Emanuela says, what would you recommend a beginner on eBay do? Flat shipping, calculated, or free?
Calculated.
Yes.
That way it's always covered.
D. Schmidt says, the state of Montana has no bins and I'm 5 hours away from Goodwill shopping. If I could buy from someone that can get me items from the bins, how would I do that? Price I should pay, etc. Any advice? You'd have to, honestly, I can't really give you any advice on that. It would be up to each individual person. I would reach out to people in the area, or maybe even like make up flyers if anybody be willing, or go visit a location and see if there's anybody that you could buy from. But it's honestly going to be like an individual contract with each person. So that's kind of hard. Little Miss Nat says,
Yeah.
Smash the like button before we go. Dusty Old Hat says, this is why I laughed. Do you ever find a flaw when you're photographing the item?
All the time.
Okay. If so, which she said yes, what is your favorite curse word to use when you find it?
Probably the S word. What's yours?
I'm an F word. See, I send it. I send it real hard.
I've
with
been
curse
trying
words.
not to curse, like, at all. Like, really hard. I used to never. Do you remember in high school? Like, I never said anything.
Yeah, I broke you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was telling the girls this morning, I don't think you were here. They'll get your reaction here. My son went to doggy daycare training yesterday with me and was singing Bad Girlfriend. And about his girlfriend's a D magnet across the entire field. And I was like, oh God, you're such a crappy mom. What's wrong with you? Rosanna says when she finds a flaw, she goes, oh.
Yeah.
I normally throw it on the floor. I'm like, are you freaking kidding? And then I like take pictures of something else and then I go back to it because I gotta be mad for a second.
Gotta be mad for a second.
I watched Chris constantly until he got banned. Oh, we're not getting into opinions on that. Sorry. What's the number one or best factor you looked for?
It depends on the brand, but lately I've been focusing on larger sizes. How about you?
I like large sizes because it's easy. You can just go to one section.
Yeah.
And I like to find stuff for myself.
That's true. I think secondly to that, with spring and summer, we've heavily been focusing on material too.
Yeah.
Because you can look for the linens and the silks and stuff like that.
All right.
Is that it?
3:45. We're going to call it done.
Hold on. Faith Jones says, I quit my job today to commit 100% into my reselling business. Congratulations.
Woo!
Awesome.
Send it, Faith. Giving you all the love.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to get off here. Thank you to everybody watching. We are going to try to get back on regularly.
I need one more like. One more. 99. One more.
We got 99 likes. Give us one more. Make
one
it feel
more.
better.
I'm going to get my phone. I haven't liked it yet. One more.
But we're going to try to get back to regularly, I can't say the word, regularly scheduled lives, which means we'll be back to doing them on Mondays, probably around 10 a.m. But hopefully we are going to get back to that. looking forward to the podcast ETA. I don't have an ETA, but I would say probably within the next month we'll start that because I've got like everything down. We've just got to actually do that. All right. We'll see you guys
I liked it.
in the next one. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Go do the heart. Come on.